You've got questions and we've got answers. Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, answering the questions that new leaders ask us. Our goal is to help all leaders become more successful, productive, and confident. In this episode, we're talking about dealing with know-it-alls. Are you ready? Let's get started. We were asked this question: how do you deal with a know-it-all effectively? Well, I really appreciate the effectively part of this, because here's the point. This is behavior that we need to work on, right? So if the behavior is causing a problem in terms of productivity or team effectiveness or something, then we need to do something about it. But recognize it is behavior, and it's not a person. It's not a person that's a know-it-all. It's a behavior of acting as if they do, and that's what we need to work on. So let's start with why people might exhibit that behavior. There's three major reasons people might do that. Number one is they want recognition. Like if I'm sharing what I know, then people might recognize me as being an expert, or they might recognize me as being a little more important. So it's a way for people to get recognition. Number two, they do it as a way to get acknowledged, especially when you're the boss and they're sharing in a meeting all the stuff that they know. It could be being done to get acknowledgement, not just recognition, but acknowledgement. And the third reason is that they may really have some information that they want to make sure we avoid a mistake, and so they want us to avoid repeating history. I've had some experience with this. I don't think that's where we want to end up, and so I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it until somebody hears me. And it's in that talking about it and talking about it and talking about it that is leading people to say that person is a know-it-all. So if it's behavior we want to change, and if those are some of the reasons that the behavior exists, and we've probably all done it, by the way, then what do we need to do to deal with it effectively? To the question, well, we have to give people what they need. So we think about it as a leader. People are exhibiting the behavior. I want to give them what they need so that the behavior will end or the behavior won't continue. That's what we're trying to do, is to solve the behavioral situation, right? So here are some things you can do. You can ask them for their opinion. In other words, you can start out by getting their opinion first, getting it out on the table. A lot of times the behavior that people worry about is the people that go on and on and on. But if I jump in front of that and ask them first, it can be a very very effective way to deal with it. It may not be popular. You may not like to do it, but it's a very effective way to do it. Second thing is confirm what you heard. So what I heard you saying, George, was this, this, and this. So now George knows that he's been heard. He doesn't have to drone on about it because his points have been heard. He's got acknowledgement and recognition for those points. Number three, value their input. You don't have to agree with everything they said, but you can value their input, appreciate the fact that they shared. And again, in terms of giving people recognition and acknowledgement, that may be all that they need. And then lastly, engage them appropriately. Because, see, there's two types of know-it-alls. There's the people that think they do and the people that really do. So if there are people that really do have a lot of knowledge, experience, and exposure to the topic area, you want to engage them. You want to get them involved in that project, in that idea, in that implementation. So we want to use that knowledge and experience to the benefit of the team. And when we do that, we get the same three things taken care of and those needs of that individual met. Know-it-all behavior is what we're talking about today. And let's close with today's tweet. There are two types of know-it-alls: those who really do and those who only think they do. You'll deal with lots of different types of behaviors as a leader. The know-it-all is just one. But hopefully what you learned today will help you when you find yourself in that situation when a person is exhibiting that know-it-all behavior.
New leaders encounter many difficult and often uncomfortable challenges and changes during their initial transition to leadership. Perhaps it's two employees who are constantly bickering and it's starting to affect their work. As their coworker, maybe you could ignore it, but now you're their supervisor. Or maybe a new direct report has way more experience than you do and is pushing back on some of your task assignment and delegation attempts. Or perhaps there are supervisory responsibilities that you just don't know how to handle. Making the transition to leadership is one of the most challenging life events we'll ever face. And while there's no doubt that this transition is extremely challenging, there are solutions that can help ease the stress and set you up for success now and in the future. Bud to Boss is a powerful and interactive workshop for new supervisors who want to grow their leadership skills fast. In just 2 days, you'll learn how to expertly handle all of your new challenges, including how do I get a better understanding of my new role and responsibilities? How do I gain respect, trust, and credibility in my new role? What is the best way to communicate about difficult issues? How do I really lead a team? How do I do performance reviews? How can I manage my time and juggle an ever-changing list of priorities? How do I communicate with new peers that have way more experience than I do? What's the best way to delegate effectively? And lots more. Don't risk your career by stumbling along at the start, learning through trial and error. Get the essential management and leadership techniques and strategies you need to succeed with the Bud to Boss workshop. Click on the button below to learn more. The skills you need to succeed are one click away.